really short name drop, too. No. So just to get started, folks, my name is Kevin Kennedy. Growing up, I would play for St John's for my sins, but I haven't been involved for Reway. Been around about a few other clubs recently, just getting a hand with this and to be involved in just conversations that go on within different clubs within Antrim as well. I'm delighted to be joined by four men here tonight who have I'm standing there talking and very wrong. Not a bit of wonder I didn't play much senior football because they're all giants compared to me. But Paddy, Kevin, Marty, and Tony, delighted to have them tonight representing their own clubs, both Carrick and Casement, who meet in the All South West final, the All South West Antrim football final, which takes place on Sunday week. So, Paddy, you want to pick up the mic and you can introduce yourself there?
Let's start on. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Paddy Graffin. So, Kevin will probably try to be interested to know what club I'm playing for here tonight. So, I'm going back for the great machine tonight. So I am. And I haven't played for Carrick and managed Carrick, but also I've managed Portland. I've coached within Sean Stenson's and then Casements after the split as well. And looking forward to a bit of crack tonight, especially this big man beside me.
And Paddy, you do have a few both camps because we represent Cardiff tonight. Your son's also involved with the Casements team on Sunday.
Yes, he's involved in the Casements team, and the to-be son-in-law, he's listening in Australia, Kieran Bradley. He's obviously he's a good Cardiff man as well, so he's more championships than the son.
I'll cover it. And the next we'll have Kevin Kidd. Kevin, tell us a bit about you. We have a family here representing you and sharing young tonight.
Hello, is that on? It's very not on. It's very out.
The top one there.
That's it.
Hello. Kevin Kidd here. Our days at Bartman a day, man, but now Portland, and I was supporting Portland the whole way. And I'll be torn cooking like some other people sitting beside me. That's a different ball game. Managed a lot of teams and what's happened to manage Portland Miners. They had won the B section there at the championship last Sunday passed, and 2% of that team are down there now. So I'm looking forward to a wee bit of crack, a bit of banter. I see a lot of people down there maybe try to kick me in the football field, but up with it.
And you, Kevin, and congratulations for the result on Sunday. And then next we have Marty Keane.
Martin Kane, played for Cardiff not that long, retired. Flew one day in Greenlap across the back with these boys. I'm doing a bit of coaching around Greenlap, took a career in there this year. So again, still ties in that Cardiff team. And I'll be rooting for Cardiff, which is turn across the bridge this week. Go back and move.
You've had a good year this year, the player.
I got double promotion, but they got a bit of a drubbing already against Craig Ban. There, the way it's structured, the media comes down in the junior, so that was like step up for us. So, but I go on right. I think that man there managed to put it into the game.
And pick the foundations in.
We were not making that.
He put the foundation on.
I had the 10 before he did. And then the last one we'll have Tony Convery, Portland.
Thanks, Kevin. Casements Portland played senior football from 1995 to 2015. It's quite ironic. Kevin Kidd gave me my senior debut under 16 back then. Can't do it now, of course, that young. And the two boys that retired by Phil McCoskey and Paddy Graff in 2015 are here as well. So I'm seeing the full club career. We played in three senior finals back in the noughties, 05, 07, against the Struggles and Galls team. So it's great for us to get back there.
Yeah, I had just much of the Sadowski with the generation as well. I think it's difficult at the minute, particularly with the success Cardiff have had in sort of the last decade, that they're always being compared almost against that St Galls team. But Cardiff are a good team at the minute in their own right as well. It just takes an awful lot to get across that line. And Tony, you're a bit shy on it. You're still playing, I believe, a bit of Masters and a bit of Ireland Masters as well recently.
That was a couple of years ago, and this year Mike Dooney for the other one as well. So it's over 40, so I'm nearly halfway to over 50. So
Life in the old
it's the time for Marty and boys like that to step up.
Tony, I'll stick to you just because you're probably one of the more recent ones who you obviously started playing football, senior football in 85, that you said, finished 2015. Football now, and Byrne, even in those sort of 20 years, what's your thoughts on football? It's a whole conversation at the minute around about what football's like in the FRC, and I know that the sort of Railway Cup's coming back in a fortnight's time to try these new rules out. So do you think football has changed, it needs to change, or where's your loyalty to that?
Yeah, Kevin, it's a completely different game. It's like a different sport. And if you go into YouTube and look at any matches from, you know, the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, really, it's like watching a different game. And I know the game always evolves. So it's, you know, you go back to 60s, 70s, it's a different game. It always evolves, but it's probably got to a stage where it's becoming a wee bit unwatchable. And if it continues in that vein, I think you're taking a lot of enjoyment out of it, a lot of the participation enjoyment out of it. So the rules will be a welcome trial anyway, to see if there are changes that can be made to bring that enjoyment of watching and playing, because I know even a lot of club players who maybe don't enjoy it as much. It's still nice to win, it's still nice to be in a team environment and win along with their club mates. But in terms of the actual enjoyment of not just the playing of the game, but even the volume of training at club level now is what county football was 20 years ago. So that ship's probably sailed, but in terms of the rules, I think if a few come in here would help.
Just Marty, just on to yourself and this one, obviously just recently retired. From playing again at a very high level, successful playing that generation as well. Now soon the coaching sort of side of things, you're obviously probably a bit further down the track in a way, but what's your thoughts on football right now?
Maybe we'll be a bit of a hypocrite because a lot of the stuff that it has, I'm actually trying to implement. There's no point in winning against the grain unless you have the capacity to do so. So I can understand why teams set up to be beat, but even within that, I would still be encouraging our lads to go for it. So for instance, we got beat by Craig Ban at the weekend. Didn't drop down from intermediate. We missed 5-13. You know, although that's very, very hard to take, there was a wee sense of pride that we actually went for it. Where whenever you see in the St. Bridget's semi-final with Cargan, although small margins won that game, 2 occasions that St. Bridget's pushed up and come out, Cargan sucker punched them with 1-1 from play. Benny Kelly's point Paul's goal. So to me, I'd rather be in a change room that's maybe get beat, you know, leaving it all out there. If it's a 10, 12 point one, maybe. But in terms of what St. Bridget's could have done with that, the elements, especially in the first half, I would find that very hard to swallow. I think there's still something left there that you just didn't empty or go for it. And if you're good enough, then they'll win the game. But there is a lot of that. I think there's a lot of teams, whenever it comes to crunch time, and especially in finals, which I don't know where this will go on Sunday, but looking back at even us and St. Gauls, and there's carrying people in here who remember them games. I remember St. Gauls beat us for 3 points one year, and you look back and you go, geez, we're only kicking the ball away from them. But really, we didn't go for it. We could have had moments where we passed the ball back instead of taking a man on and things like that. So I can understand why teams do it if they haven't went to the well and they play that wee bit negative and play a wee bit more secure. But at the same time, I detest watching it. I watched all the day games at the weekend and crap, and you know, seeing even Cargan's and Bridget's first half as a write-off. But you can understand why they do it. So I think there is radical change probably required just to make it a bit more spectacle.
Yeah, I suppose we don't have any skin in the game. It can be hard to watch different if you're even for the last 5 minutes of the game. If you have an emotional involvement there, even as a spectator, this Sunday coming up as a Cargan or Casement fan, you're going to be emotionally involved in that game right to the end. That's probably going to swing your bias in terms of where the game is, who you're not.
And what I didn't actually notice the set with a great uncle of mine, Scroggy Johnson, and there's a couple of lads from his generation who've been out of the game his years, and whenever Cargan was retaining the ball and Jenny was hand holding the spot, they were telling him to lump it in and go for it. They're just completely out of sync with the thinking of the Cargan men. And it's just funny how their interpretation of how football should be played has just went completely full circle. But, you know, I seen Cargan come in at half time and Jenny was over high-fiving his kids and Mick was giving thumbs up, looking at people, you know, there was no panic there, they knew what they were doing. But I think the sideline is more anxious, they don't get that concept, if that makes sense. So it's funny how the game's evolved so much, and it's nearly like watching basketball at times. So if there's a 10-second rule to hit a shot once you cross the 45 or something required, I think that'd make it more of a spectacle. But I think the way these lads played it back then, you watched clips in the 90s, it was nearly like hurling. You won your man-to-man battle, you went direct, you took your man on, it was all them things from courage where now he's completely discouraged and they show complete maverick or exceptional talent.
And just counting on yourself in terms of obviously Casements had that great run at the weekend, the minor P final. You're a Parsley's coach for a long, long time. Had your principles of coaching changed, or I know how I've chatted here before, it's still very much about basics, get the simple things right.
Well, to me, basics is a very important thing in the game. And a lot of the reason, a lot of coaching going on now, I think they forget about the basics. The more mistakes you cut out, the bigger chance you have of winning. That's the way I look at it. Years ago, whenever we played football, we talked about them best people laugh at us. We used to go out onto the pitch there whenever we started playing. I played for this Martin Senior team when I was 14 years of age. Nowadays, you can't play till you're 18. But we just haven't got a team. We were playing down against teams like that. You chain behind a one bush. And that is the way it was in them days. And then gradually moved on. But what I liked about the thing in them days, and I think it's missing a lot today, is if I kick a ball over the bar from 40, 50 yards, no bother. Everybody used to do it in the team. Most of your forwards could have done that. But today they can't do that. If somebody scores a big score, oh, wow, that's all it is. That is natural to us now. Not just myself, but everybody. You know, 5 or 6 men in your team could have done that. But they don't practice that today, I think. And also, this minor team, I'll go back to them, like the effort they put in and the work they put in and concentrate and cutting out mistakes, doing the simple things, the basics of the game, doing them right, the kick pass, the first pass, catching the ball, looking up and looking around to see what's going on. Very important in the game today.
Yeah, just a bit, I'm standing earlier on about Jim McGinnis, his mindset's very much for his coaching. There's no fancy cones or fancy drills, it's hard work, it's simple drills, is what he's well known for, but doing them at a very high level, high pace, and getting that your hand passing left and right, your kick passing, they're all on point.
Yeah, so I agree with that 100%. But then you go to some clubs, you see, and you're doing away simple things, that boy doesn't know anything. They don't realise that team's improving. You know, they think you have to be doing something fancy, not unless you're setting out that big fancy drill. And so this is not good, but this is not good, then I think you don't know what you're doing. But then the way I look at a game of football today, and even in them days, if you score 3-15 now, I'm saying that's to score 3-16 to 80. So I'd go out and try and score 3-15. You know, I'd be 2-15 men do, or 1-15 at one time.
It's not too far. The quarterfinal this year now scored an audio team. How do you think should be winning, I think, game of football?
It should be one you think game of football, but the team that were playing was just a little bit better at keeping the ball and moving the ball. He didn't make as many mistakes as he made when it comes to nitty-gritty, you know. And that's what will be happening on Sunday. When it comes to nitty-gritty, who wants it the most and who can make the least mistakes, so on.
But it just in terms of obviously coaching, got part in the final a few times on it. What's your perspective on the game now? And obviously still have a lot of skin in the game.
Yeah, what I would say with the game, I agree with everything that everybody's saying here, but I think that the teams, if the two teams go out to play football, they still can't play football. So if you saw Portland against Landern, Portland went out, game was open enough to play football. Whenever the game opened up against St. Bridget's, you know, there was football played. So I think it's about teams having the confidence to let themselves go and play the football and have the confidence in their own ability to do it. And I would take that back to managers as well. You know, managers have a lot of responsibility here too as well, because a lot of managers, if I could say it, a lot of managers are getting paid and getting paid very well to not get beat rather than go out to win. And that's why you see a lot of close games like that. You know, Kevin never took a penalty now. Like 19 on his team, still did, you know. But
Well, top expensive for that.
but that's and that's what I would say. I would say that managers have a lot of responsibility in this too as well, because they're the ones that are ultimately telling the players how they want to play. You know, retain the ball, go backwards, hold possession, all those types of things. Instead of, and what Marty said there about the older rumble in, how many games have we not seen in the last couple of years, county games and club games, where the person has kicked it and lumped it in, and a goal has come out of it, or a point. If you look at St. John's, in the quarter final against Portland, you know, a couple of big high balls in, caused chaos, and all of a sudden St. John's were back in the game again. So there is a degree of, you know, players have to play, but managers have to let them play too.
Yeah, I think I don't know whether there's more bad games now, but I think the argument is that there's probably more bad games on show because we have streaming services. We have, you know, before you had to go to travel to see a game, now they're on TV, you're watching that Galway. But certainly, I remember Tim McGuinness coming out of the Galway game in the semi-final this year, and I love what he said in terms of Galway kept 3 men up top, and we didn't know what to do. We couldn't press on. So Galway, obviously, you took a risk there by leaving the men up top in there, and it stopped that man going forward. It was in the back of the head, Mark Turner run a bit of fear, you're going to it. But now the FRC are proposing that it almost justifies poor coaching in a way,
Yeah.
because they're forced it down. Because what Bobby Joyce and O'Neill done was brilliant.
Yes.
Taking a risk in that way. But now it's almost going to be, well, it's a very,
Like I've heard go in someday, but keep Thomas McCann, Pat Shivers, Tom Shivers up front. And Portland aren't going to go and leave. You know, they're not going to go and leave those. The game automatically opens up itself. So, you know, that's.
so just on that one, before we went to, for me, Cargan and Portland have been the best 2 teams I've seen in Antrim playing in the last 3 years. And I know Portland didn't get the final last year. I thought that they were a better team than Dunloy. They just couldn't convert the chances. I think they had something 36 shots in the day. Couldn't convert the chances that went through it. But I was watching it back on video, the game up in Portland last year as well. Just watching the way team played, I think Portland had been a competent team. Up until the Tolton Cup semi-final this year, we only had 1 person starting on the Antrim team from these 2 clubs, who for me are the best teams. I know Mick McCann's been there, and Tomas McCann's been there, but you mentioned some boys in there, and Pat's on the team as well, Tom Shivers. What will have to do to get the best players from these clubs up in county football?
As first of all, it's up to the player, and it's up to listen to a documentary on Paul McGrath's song, where he didn't have to train from 1 week to the next week. Yet he still went out and played for Aston Villa, best player on the field and whatever else. So let's hear your older players, and not just a single like McCann, but the likes of your older players, your Lyman Keepers and McCann, those types of players. You know, I think they have to be managed differently. They don't need to be in the gym 4 days a week and slogging the fields 3 days a week. So I think he's still, if they're still the best player in the county, they should still be playing for the county. I think that's, you know, and I know we want to bring in younger players and whatever else, but having that experience up at county level will undoubtedly help any younger player through. You know, so I think there needs to be flexibility at county level. It's set up now not to suit anybody with any sort of work commitments, family commitments, any of that. It's not set up for that in county football unless you've got a very understanding wife and a good bank balance. They're the 2 things that you need if you want to go and play county football, or you're a student. That's what it's really set up for me. It's been the first thing for the moment.
And anybody else want to come on up? Just to...
But I would just like to say, putting on had a man or 2 up, but he never made the grade for them. So it didn't. In my eyes, I think that's what they need to be doing. They need to be looking at young boys that are interested in looking to play and give them some game play. If you're not getting games, you're not going to be interested in playing. You're not going to go get to run around the pitch and run and do all the hard work if you're not getting football. And I think they have to mix it up a wee bit. Sometimes I think with Antrim County, they stick to the 15 or 16 or 17, maybe 18. You know, they don't bring all of us on a wee bit when they should be. I think if they start to learn to do that, maybe they would get something, you know.
Just, I'll name drop. I was messaged this during the year, and asked who's watching Doherty. He just scored not against Kerry club game. And next thing I watched the text in a few days later saying that Sammy's away because he wasn't getting the opportunity at the county team. I wish he would be a player who'd be maybe identified on Sunday by Cargill, something you're going to have to watch. And obviously he wasn't getting the game time up in there for whatever reason.
Well, that's what I agree with that 100%. A very good footballer. Also, Danny blood in him too. You see, that's no matter what, you know. His father would play for Black here. So it's a very good footballer and just and he's one of the players with the best fit. I thought it was very unfair on him, quite honestly. You know, I'm not just there's other ones that's happened too. You know, but you have to be, if you're going to get somewhere, you have to bring everybody in and treat them all equal. That's the way I see it. I don't think that's been done.
My take on it would probably be just to carry on what Paddy was saying. If you decide to play county football, you are deciding on a radical lifestyle change. Not everybody has the capacity to do that, especially you're talking about the men in that Cardigan team now. I would say 70% of that Cardigan team's wife, family, self-employed, or jobs to lend themselves to county football. So that's one aspect of it. And the second would probably be for lads not making it. I think there's been 3 Ireland men, if I'm right, maybe some people looking forward to me, that has made their county debut ahead of their club debuts. Ben and Kelly, they're starting, lad was under 20s. Ewan, Quinn, my cousin Connor. Now that's because they were in an under 20 panel, and that carried on through to whenever Cardigan had been in the league. So them boys first and foremost are the typical athletes for county football. That doesn't mean say they lend themselves into whatever Roland Devlin's trying to do system-wise or Cardigan's way of playing, but they're obviously lent then to county football, which at a time, if you were county football, you were straight on your club team. Sometimes that doesn't cross over the same. I would say Oisin Doherty is probably the most informed club footballer in Antrim. It's just baffling how he doesn't get on the county team. But McEntee obviously doesn't see how Oisin maybe lent himself to his system. So it's all interpretation of the type of game you're playing. County football is so different from club football. You can actually see that then even the way Cardigan play, the way Portmore play, the guys are standing out, aren't making a county team, and they're both in the county final. So there's maybe a wee bit of context to it in that regard.
Yeah, I remember when you probably keep you right, I was one of the fellow, big midfielder from St. Gall's, Martin, he's a doctor, like Martin. He did crack county football, but never really stood out club football. Probably the opposite way. That he was made from county football, the size and everything that come to it, but never really for me. Probably the game, go back to the team he was involved with, never really stood out again. And I'm like a footballer who you have to worry an awful lot about.
Well, there's the problem. I would say he's a friend of mine, but Jenny has been the best goalkeeper in football in the committed minor. And Baker took us under 21 level. Obviously, maybe Jenny didn't have the equipment levels at that time because of the elk and things like that. But Jenny to me was nobody can lace the boots, and now he's playing at a level of 34 years of age. I think he's lost 20 kilos in the last year. He's adopted this super keeper role, and he's added Northern to the room. But Jenny never got a sniff ahead of people that were coming from Ross. I know Chris he was an understudy for Rowan, but Chris ended up being a great county goalkeeper. But maybe Jenny's role within that room may not suit on football time or whoever's in charge at the time. So it's just funny how both don't end themselves in the same game. So.
Tony, just on that, I mean, you were obviously involved in coaching at county level over the last few years underage.
Yeah.
The big difference, even at that level, in terms of the expectations from players and getting players involved, goes down to that, schools, everything else.
Yeah, probably just to reiterate Marty's point, it's sometimes like a different game, Kevin, and as much as it's a buy-in to commit. And I suppose for Antrim, it's a chicken and egg scenario because Antrim haven't been as successful. So your young players and maybe other senior players aren't aspiring to play county football because they want to look at it as well, what's in it for them. So it was just a chance to fall on a county charity. That should be enough, but with the commitment required, if there's a bit of success or there's a chance of a bit of success, you're going to have more chance of buy-in. So it's not an easy solution, to be honest. And Antrim also then at senior level had the problem of turnover of players. Should field players buy in for a couple of years, and then they're maybe not getting game time, they're maybe not winning games or playing Division 3 football, championships and early exit. Touch and Cup's been good in that regard, but if you're turning over 4 or 5 players every couple of years, you're not getting that consistency that the Division 1 and the top Division 2 teams have.
Just touching back in the club football now in terms of Antrim obviously had a big massive change this year in terms of the league structure with 16 teams up into Division 1. I think it's 51% of all teams in Antrim now play Division 1 football. And I think I counted it up this right after Sunday, Cardinal had played in Antrim 1, something 24, 25 games this season. And that's probably, it's almost week on week since start of March. So have you got many games over the year in terms of league, and do you think that structure has helped or hindered Antrim sort of in terms of quality? Because I know Brendan Crossan from the Irish News, he had it this week and sent back from Cardigan and the quality sort of their beating probably isn't what he's used to, but what's your interpretation of that, Tony?
overall Kevin's hindered, I think. I don't think Antrim as a county is capable of sustaining 16 senior clubs. And we'll probably see that when we delve into the Ulster series now. And, you know, the intermediate and junior teams are really up against some strong teams from other counties. Realistically, I remember chatting to the fixture secretary a few years ago about this, and Ray Thompson from St Agnes's, that Antrim realistically have 8 to 10 senior clubs, and I mean that in terms of, you know, commitment, ability, everything, and they probably after that they've another 8 to 10 intermediate, another 8 to 10 junior, and then probably 8 to 10 junior A. And that's probably where it is. It's like 10, 10, 10, 10, four levels, because if you get the mismatch that we had in Division 1 this year, it's probably not good for you playing weaker teams. You're better probably playing stronger teams, and more of the stronger teams, you know, double league playing each other, because it's not fair in either team, because it doesn't help the standard, drive up the standard, and also for the weaker teams, you know, they're taking some big timings as well.
Yeah, I looked at the score difference between Cardiff, who were the top team, and Oliver, who were the bottom team. There was 119 points of score difference between that team. So whenever, again, go back to compare it with Tyrone, given Donegal as well, and from the sort of highest scoring to lowest scoring, the difference you can see between about 70 or 80 points. It's a massive difference. And just Marty, you know, obviously, league football, there was less teams into it. Did the league mean more maybe come back whenever you were at your peak?
I think me personally, I retired in 2020, but I think I 8 or 9 league medals, and I only 5 championship medals. And funny enough, it wasn't until we started losing leagues and championships. So, Portnoy will testify after they won the league last year, confidence was up, the field was up. But then you're a marked team, you're an informed team. People are giving you a bit more respect maybe than what you weren't getting the day before, but it doesn't necessarily equate with championships. It's good as a box to pick and say you've had that milestone. But I remember like some goals of old that was they didn't start putting the names in whenever they get their called 7 stage role, and that's when they really ramped it up. Where we were maybe going whenever Paddy was topping us, you seek that confidence. So you had to go early doors, you had to go beating these teams early doors, but then it nearly took a mountain strain on me. You know, by the time you got to July, you're already in 5th gear, what have you got left in the tank? So I would say the way the league structure is, although I agree with everything Tony said, from a Cardinals point of view, the 2 teams we Cardinals this year, constantly with St. Gauls and St. Enda's, we really struggled in the league. But I would say because of the panel targets and the Cardigan has inherited, because of the numbers they have, and then with injuries as well, it's given a lot of lads a good opportunity to play competitive football. So there's a couple of reserve lads that maybe might not get on in the senior championship game, group stage or whatever, but they've had an opportunity to play against them. Well, I mean, the teams that come up is maybe running on the same that box ticked, and they make them a chance against a stronger team, a lander, etc. So for Cardigan, I think it's working really, really well. But I can understand for other clubs, it may not be the case. I'd say it's been a long season. Knowing the Glenravel manager, I think with this 4 or 5 training men they've had, they really, really struggled, and they pulled it in the bag to stay in Division 1 last game of the season. But I think it's a heavy fixture this league, and it definitely takes toll on players.
I think just on Glenravel, and they have 3 senior footballers plus a hurler as well. So the 4 county players are a team to move up from intermediate and senior. It's always going to be having fun. The maintenance of it was a tough year for them. I've chatted to a few boys at the club saying it would be a tough year for you. Is there something there? I mean, obviously, the county season has changed. We now have the split season here, whereby, all right, you do win the County Cup next year, but from January to mid-July, that's basically your county season. But the club season hasn't changed. The club season's still been out there anyway. You still go from March, effectively first week of March, still winter football through until October. And if people even want to do something about it now, I would love to see within Antrim, going back to 20's point of the 8 to 10 Division 1 to Division 4, and almost like a carry championship model at the start of the year for just club players. Your big players are away, and it's your junior teams can amalgamate so they can lay out against your Ballerinas and their Parkers and stuff. It also gives those players at maybe a junior level or intermediate level, because I remember there's a few I know down maybe wouldn't have made it, maybe certainly wouldn't have been in the shape for. Does the club season need to change to complement the county seasons go on?
I'm not so sure whether that would make a wide difference or not. I think there's too many teams in Division 1 and Antrim myself, quite honest with you. I think that problem, and I think it's brought them down to a lesser extent, and she should play. But what I see suffering most is when they go to county, then the county has to save them over the club. Years ago, they used to play for county and club, you know. I don't understand why they can't do that today. You go back years to football and football days. I see not playing football every night of the week. You're playing carnival matches, league matches. The whole week through, you're playing maybe 7 nights a week, you're playing football. And you get fitter than that. And the one thing you had most of all, that I think is missing today, is you had plenty of control over the ball because you're practicing all the time playing matches. So you won. Personally, I feel a bit sorry for the smaller clubs who need their county men. So it's a hard one to work out. I don't know what way they would work it out. Smaller clubs that are struggling to stay, they keep, should it be junior football, intermediate football or senior football? And they haven't got their county men, they're going to struggle to win anything at all. And it's okay people saying they have them for championship time. It's not easy bringing somebody back into the championship and they have to change your game all over again with different men coming into it, you know. It's not just as easy as it looks. So I'm not sure what they need to be doing about it. But my personal opinion is that you should give a wee bit more respect, I think, to the clubs. You know, we shouldn't be all trained around county football. I think we all have to get a wee chance of giving the clubs, especially the smaller clubs, a fair chance. I played for small clubs all my life, so that this marked me with small clubs years ago. We made our minds up one time we're not going to be in Division 3 any longer, and 5 years later we're in Division 1, you know. You put the work into it, and it's the same with these small clubs, you know, it's not about club, you know. People talk, but it's great for them to be in a final, you know. And it's a big achievement for them, so it is. And the struggle to many times with what talk about that later on, but to me, I don't know what to do. Maybe Paddy was better idea because he had 2 championship matches and I have there in it.
Just,
You almost keep your right point.
just to say that as well. Whenever Kevin's playing football 7 days a week, we're also drinking 7 days a week as well. So just to clarify that point as well. So that's maybe how they get through the games. I don't know. If you look around the country, so if you look at the good models, you look at Tyrone, a very tight, competitive league, doesn't start their league to June. So, you know, the league in Tyrone means as much as the championship. So it does. So, what I would like to see in Antrim, the pre-season competitions that get them up and under the Captain Cup, the Ranger Cups, Southampton, those types of cups, get those up, get those underway at the start of the year. An 8-team Division 1 played two-way, started in June, May, June, and back to knockout championship football. And I think then if you're back to knockout championship football, or maybe in knockout, maybe one chance. So one chance to go back door, but not this here where you've got, you know, to be fair, the format's not that far away in under the championship. It's just the fact that you've got 4 groups of 4 there, and there isn't the quality there. You know, you've got everybody can practically probably the top 8 teams that get through to the quarterfinals. You know, if you looked at the groups, you'd be saying, you know, that's probably the teams that are going to get through. So I would like to see those pre-season competitions played early, back to groups of 8 or leagues of 8, you know, and make it really competitive. 2 teams down, top 2 teams play off, you know, and all of a sudden 2 teams up from the Division 2. It starts to make things competitive because that's what you want. This year, I think I got a bit on the bits in some of the games because we're like challenge matches. That's what some of them are like. And Marty's right, it suits. What that does is it suits the likes of Cargan, Portland, you know, Lander, St. John's. It suits them teams. If St. John's can focus away, for example, in Ireland, and know that they're going to be safe in the league, you know, and unfortunately, St. Enda's under their own circumstances and why they're down. But you would have to, it was really hard to get probably get a Division 1 Antrim this year.
Yeah, you only had to win one game.
I saw you
You only had to win one game. You only get into the playoff final, you were win that game. You
some
just
jeopardy there, though.
So folks, we'll get into it now. We've probably talked for a good back around a bit, but obviously the road to the final started off by Cargan. They were in the group. I think this group's drawn every other year now with St John's, Rossa and Tiernan Oak. And just touch on what Marty was saying there now, you know, about the idea that we came across in the title that St Gall's were going in January, you know, that they were always sort of ready to go for it, but it is a conversation people are having with St Gall's just didn't start going until May or June. Would that be the case with Cargan now as well, knowing that they probably don't need to be fully going until the championship really gets started?
Yeah, that would be the same for Cargan too. There's no point in going, well, there are a lot of players involved on under 21s. You know, there's some players involved with seniors and some players injured. You can the older players, so you're not really going full tilt at it until probably July time. You know, that's realistically, you have 4 to 5 weeks to get fit, and you want to peak. You know, if Cargan's looking at the start of the year, you're looking at a county semi-final, a county final, and then hopefully getting through at the Ulster. That's what Cargan's guys will be at the start of the year and doing that. You know, so you have to peak at the right time. Portland will probably be looking at wherever their group is drawn, looking at it, finding we're much the same here. You know, we're training here for a county quarter final, semi final, and then hopefully a final that we've got to. You know.
Yeah, probably touches on it. Speaking of just St John's and Rossa, who were both in Cargan's group, both managers I would have said that the draws are you're not going to be a Cargan. It's different if you're mostly involved in it, but I wasn't mostly fixed. You're not going to be a Cargan. You actually have to one bit Tiernan and Rossa or St John's and one of them. And the idea that you can catch Cargan on a bad day might be in the group stages, but it certainly wasn't the case this year. I think that was looking at it today that they had 15 scores in all 3 other groups. They just went up the 5-10 against Rossa, 2-13 against St John's, and 3-12 against Rossa. You know, absolutely blowing teams out of the water. And you're looking at the bench and there's Cobo sitting there and Justin Crozier sitting there. And you know, there's a good opportunity for them to get young players in there as well, which is a challenge for running away because, you know, I know that James stood up last year and said that, you know, everyone's calling us their own team, but we're still there. And that experience they'll need. But it was a brilliant opportunity for this year to get young players in. Maybe get scores like that against decent enough teams. It's a huge marker, I think, to Ron Devlin and his coaching team in there.
Yeah, I know definitely. And as I say, that the format allowed, the format allowed that mix of players. Whereas if you have a bit more generally in the whole thing, that wouldn't happen. So if you had an 8-team league and a knockout championship, that doesn't happen. So the format does suit Cargan Bloods. It starts to blood that panel and have a bigger panel, you know, having your 24, 25, 26 very capable players. 5 or 6 or 7 players there playing for any other Division 1 team in Antrim.
Yeah.
So they want.
And just in terms of I'll not touch too much on the Hoggle game. You know, it was obviously 22.1, I think that was. So, but the last game against the Braves, a lot of talk on it, a lot of talk on social media and everything about it and the way it went about. I think Cargan almost got a bad rap in a way because they were playing against them, you know, win it. So you have the game. What was your interpretation of the game and how it went?
Disappointed in St. Bridget's not coming out. You know, you've a gale force run, you go out and try and win the game. And that's back to the point earlier about managers. You know, that must have been the tactic to go out and do that. You know, and it's crazy. You know, and I think the same thing happened in Derry at the weekend there as well. It's crazy to sit back with that gale force run and not go out and try and win the game. You know, or try and get, because people talk about that one's a 6-point win or that one's an 8-point win. And they should have been going, they should have been in after the game and making it a bit more, making it a bit more of a spectacle, you know what I mean? And it was easy for Cargan, like, you know, Marty says, there's high five and walking on half time. Cargan knew that they came on at half time. You know, they were in control, and they didn't have to play that well to win that game. So they didn't, you know, and that's, to me, they weren't challenged where, if you look Portland on, they went out and wanted to win the game and put the scores on the board and did whatever. Cargan could have won that game. I think if the game had opened up, Cargan could have won that game 6, 7, 8, 9 points easily.
Yeah, I think watching Cargan over the years, I think Jerome Quinn put it to Tomas McCann the other day, saying it's just a different tactic that you're playing against, and the team's dropping off. But certainly not teams drop off Cargan That's almost up. Like we're playing Cargan here, we're dropping off. The thing is, if you drop off Cargan, you'll get beat. If you press up on them, you might get beat, but you give yourself a better chance of winning.
It's just like you dilute your bits on at that stage, so at least you give it a go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And going for it. But if you sit back and let Cargan control the game, they won't control the game.
Yeah, I think even that it was almost like, I know the conditions you take different, but it was almost history repeating themselves, Marty, than last year, whereby I know some Braves were ahead up until maybe halfway through the second half, but never at one stage stand on the hill. I know there's a few Cargan men around about me giving their fault and saying they got a wee bit nervous, but I never once watched that game and thought Cargan in trouble here.
No, that's probably testament to Cargan's training. I left in Damien Cassidy's last year. This year, Cargan were really competed for numbers. Ronan asked me that I want to come out and be on the panel for the league, because it's 16 players essentially. And their training for the last 45 minutes was defenders outnumbering forwards, and forwards having to generate a score. Even though I was in the defenders team, we were outnumbering, the forwards wasn't by at angles, making check runs, not being static, not being predictable. I was so impressed from the team that I left to what's developed since. So yes, they have faced teams that sit back, but in Antrim, maybe 14 of the 16 teams might do that, make it to the go for it. So I think Cargan have that covered. Not to say that they're polished article on it, but they're definitely working towards facing that. And then the game does open up, sure, I've seen the 2 occasions, but they've done some riddles. But I think Cargan, we used to chase leads of 3, 4, 5 points to feel comfortable. I think Cargan's very comfortable as long as they're in the game. So you cast your mind back to Highgallen, up to 8 points. They chipped away, and at extra time, you could feel that momentum even in the crowd. I even hear stories in the change room where, as they were walking by the Highgallen change room, a few Cargan boys that knew that they were got, and they had their chance to do it. So it's interesting, the mindset of Cargan whenever they are looking at them scenarios, but it's definitely a different mindset whenever we were trying to chase the championship. So it's testament to Ronan, Damien, everybody has worked towards that. But again, it's not to say that will work on Sunday, but they're definitely preparing for that.
Well, I think speaking to Campbell Boyd last year, he was doing a few of the Friday night Twitter Day things in Cheltenham, and apparently the thing I kept on saying was the way Cargan are playing. Co stopped me the week of Christmas. He said, "What way do you play?" And it goes back maybe what Tomas said at the weekend there. Rather than having these structures and systems of playing, it's almost like create good footballers, and that then they got themselves.
We see across most teams, every team nearly is playing this system. So I think Ronan, as a coach at the Convent, he takes my son for football, and him and Fabian's a great mix. But even from my team, I'm under coach or Ronan, he buy into the philosophy of football, and that's like you're never beat, you're always an option. It's so simple. But whenever you see other teams playing this system and they don't know what to do, I'll give you an example of contrast. Derry, whenever they played Galway 2 years ago in the semi-final, were beat. Galway was 3 points up. Derry kept playing the system, kept retaining possession, and they just knew they were going nowhere. If the Galway had their card mark, prepared accordingly. Armagh, the game before, obviously played the system, weren't in the receiving end of the result, but the last 2 or 3 months, lumping the ball on the top of the keeper, started a row. It was nearly like they were playing McGinney's philosophy at the end, and they were scraping to get any form of a result, where to beat Derry went out in the win because they stuck to their system. And nobody had an entitlement to go and play with a bit of freedom to do something creative or anything. They always felt that was to their detriment. Though it was good enough to win Ulster, etc., and take them on a couple of good runs in All Ireland. But Cargan, no matter what the circumstances, they seem to prepare for it. But they've also got that freedom balance right where, if the game's not going our way, Pat and Stork, Mick, get in his box and create a bit of turmoil. You see against Glenties, McShane get the fisted ball on. Now, I would guarantee you now, Kevin McShane has never crossed the halfway line in Cargan training preparing for that scenario. That was just a wee bit of leadership required there. And obviously maybe winning the championship or two, develop that character to do that. Where when you don't win the championship, you're looking to the line and going, right, what do I do now? And you don't want to go step outside your boundaries in case you lose the game. But it was just funny how I think that Cargan are we step above just whatever's out there at the moment in terms of that experience and that freedom to do that?
Still had, you know, the quality there, you need to think. Moss is still on the show, Mick's still there, big Pat, you know, now that he's brought out around the middle, I'd love to see it. I think he's, you know, made for sort of that half forward, more free from midfield. I think he's probably, you know, not a wasted footballer, but I know it's not class here, so apologies for this, but that he can sometimes get a bit lazy sitting in the square. But for the talent that fella has, like, right around the middle really suits him.
But who would want to be an inside forward now? Right? Two supers in front of you, you have to wait till the ball's handed to you. You're trying to stay high up the pitch to push teams back outside the scoring zone. You know, you're nearly in the last phase of play requirements. Like, you're literally waiting till everybody does the donkey work and you have to come back out around the arc. It's so hard to play as an inside forward.
And I know the game was over, I know the game was over at this stage, but Mick against St John's, Stephen Kearney was a sweeper left in there, he seen Pat free, and it was, you can't leave that fella out in there, and his dink, you know, for the sake of all that, it was a beautiful pump pass that I haven't seen in a long time, just until almost on the 21, and Mick give it off, next thing to go in the back end. It was that danger of, geez, you can't let that fella have the ball, they had to press it.
And that's something you probably don't train towards, that's just having the ability, freedom to do that. And I definitely don't think that came from the silver side of the house now, to be honest with you. The boys can take credit for that.
So we'll start dropping names in a wee minute in terms of players to watch out for. But in terms of Portland, Tony, you know, Portland obviously went out last year. John makes no secret about it that they went out last year to get the league a good roll. And they obviously changed their approach this year in the way just speaking to John too. But John himself, you know, he's well brought a coach. You remember playing for Ulster, maybe up there 16s or 17s, and John was down for one of the days on it, but he's a football man, he loves football.
Yeah, he does. He's probably, John finished up his own football career 28, 29, I think. And that probably rushed him into coaching, and he went in straight away. I think he helped with working on. He came in during the year one year, and that's been ever since. He's coached in Ballinderry, Ballet, Coal Island, you know, and, you know, places where there's lots of expectations. So bring the ground for him. And of course, he teaches in the Holy Trinity, and he's working with, you know, he's working with really top class footballers and top class coaches there as well. So, you know, he might only be maybe 42, 43 now, but he's gathered a lot of experience in that time.
And in terms of how he's getting Portland, then, you know, it's obviously Portland all had the Simpsons for years whereby maybe the numbers weren't there, but there's certainly, with the success of that, the numbers coming through, and they're still a very young team within Portland. You take maybe Enderlin and Albo Weaver, most of them probably around about 30 mark.
Yeah, that's right. And I think it's important to mention that this is John's third year with that Portland squad, and even the previous management for 2 or 3 years, and by and large, it's been the same core group. So to do what he's done even this year, I know even the group we've had maybe wasn't as strong. We were up in the quarterfinals a bit against St John's, but to bring them to a final in this third year, you don't usually see that. So it shows a couple of things. It shows the sort of arena John gives the boys to, you know, to express themselves. John always creates a good camp, he creates a good atmosphere. People want to be in it, people want to play it. Our seniors enjoy being in that. You see them around the pitch, you see them in the gym, they enjoy the environment they're in. So John's really good at that. So he's good at bringing people with him. So and he's also good at creating a backroom team, you know, high quality backroom team as well to feed into.
His go-kart too. Every time I see him, he's on that bloody go-kart where it is.
Is that right?
They have the boys up there as well. We touched on the backroom team there. I mean, it's a star-studded backroom team. Paddy Copsey in there doing the strength conditioning, and also Gary in there as well. You know, obviously boys is picked up from the college too.
Yeah, and
of course, Giggsy, look, Giggsy, the same fellow.
Yeah, Giggsy and Adrian McKeever there as well, and Martin McLaughlin on the stats. But I suppose it's just he's leaving no stone unturned. So if Portland don't go enough to cross the line this Sunday, it won't be what John has brought to it. You know, John's put absolutely everything in terms of resource, in terms of player support. So there's no better man than John for that.
And I think go back what Marty touched on earlier on, but if you win a league, you're almost like your cards marked. You have to keep a wee bit more eye. Working finished down the league this year, fourth, well, it wasn't until fifth or sixth to finish into it, but I think that not saying it was planned, but they're happy with where it's left. It's obviously they've got a final now. They've probably been the conversations all about surprise and Cardigan making some Braves being the closest thing to Cardigan. I think it is. I think it is Port Minham. But it's obviously got the great needs to get them now, especially with that semi-final nonsense here.
Yeah, there was obviously a more relaxed approach to the league this year. There was a bigger spread of players got game time, and that served as well. And some of those players that did make an impact are now on the first team. But sorry, the second part of your question, Kevin, was. I can't remember.
So the semi-final,
Yeah, and it's like a weight off the shoulders, not just a weight, it just exploded off the shoulders against Lavjar because, and I don't know how much of that was Lavjar not performing and us, going for it, but, don't underestimate that hoodoo getting over that. I'm hopeful it gives a springboard to, to push on. And maybe show no fear again, because we have to show Cardigan every respect. If we show fear and we let them dictate, Cardigan will dictate, as you said, Cardigan will dictate to anyone if they're allowed to do that. So we have to try and bring something novel to that and something different that Cardigan have beat enough of a spread of teams that there'll be nothing we bring that they haven't seen before, but we just have to think maybe of a different way to do that, and that's the challenge for John.
I suppose Gavin just obviously John very well. I think it was maybe January this year. I was sitting having a coffee listening to a podcast, and it was I forget the guy now, who's managed the All Blacks, and he says before he took over Steve Hansen, that whenever he took over the All Blacks, had this thing of they were chokers. I remember thinking, that sounds an awful lot like what people call it. I sent it to John. He said, so long as we get over the semi-final, anything can happen in the final. But in the last 2 weeks, how's John been since he got over that semi-final?
Well, John's been very good form, but a lot of people don't understand. John puts a lot of work in, I work with John Cookstone, and we Tony the Evans just forgot to mention him there too. Should be boy too, but football. But the work that John puts in, John Ray, you don't see it out of it, And any manager is the same, but here with no stone unturned in that whole show. And I'd be expecting a good game from Portland. I don't think Portland's going to be. They'll respect Carrigan, but they'll not be scared of them. So they're not. It's a big to get over the semi-final. The semi-final is a jinx to them. Sort of come on in a jinx, and they've got by that being that now. So it's up to them now. They've prepared well, they've got a lot of injured men back, and one thing and another.
But I mean, I was just doing a chat before the Landor game. I'd say obviously the win, and the win comfortable like that as well. At least 3 points now on. They obviously beat Landor very, very well, whether they're not performing or we're really turning up. But I'm going to beat scores. They had some spread of scores, 117, 117 in the first games against the Hoffa and the Class. And yes, you can say they're obviously better quality in terms of that. But even against Landor, hitting 117 again, any team scores in a game, so you're
Well, it's good quality forward, I'm afraid. There's 4 or 5 there. To be fair, and the runs by addition, was very calm, very cool. He's always looking up, he's looking for people to move, and he can hold on to the ball, But there's a lot of good players there too. The man that I thought you were playing, Antrim there, is a good player too. Doherty, he can score from anywhere. Scotch and stuff for the young boys there. Great band of stuff there. And the forward panel back, there's a lot of boys injured through the years, and a small club like that needs everybody. And the buzz of the ground at club at the minute with the under 16s won the championship, and there's a big buzz in the club, and that helps a lot too. He got a lot of criticism, John, for a time or two, which was uncalled for. But I'd expect him to come out and drop a good show.
I watched them a few times this year, and a bit like what you were saying earlier on about mistakes. Even against, I watched them getting up against the goals, and they chased that game for most of the game up until the last couple of minutes, and then they got their heads up front. But anything that's in goals we're getting, and because we're making mistakes, I always think that's a good marker. I always think that you college through mistakes, you talk about results. I don't think you should count on until it comes to the knockout stages, but certainly about performance. And John's obviously is the biggest here in terms of performance and improvements, and that's probably where they're coming in, the type of scores they are in the sort of championship, and getting over that hoodie or whatever you want to call it, so impressively against London.
Well, It's took a lot of good lot of aspects of the game, and I've come in that training sessions are very high intensity at the moment now, and they're moving the ball a lot quicker and a lot sharper. Carrigan will not be easy beat, no point saying the world. To want to vote in the book issue, that should tell you what everybody thinks, you know. At the end of the day, I still fancy Portland to turn them over. That's me. I'm a Portland man, that's the way I'll be. But they've improved a hell of a lot, and they're not making as many silly mistakes. And I do believe that, I don't think on to the one player or two before. Big Guy has played some stuff for the year, so he is. And if a boy O'Kane come back in there too, he's playing pretty well as well. And I also know that Lamb settles them down a good bit. And if you've somebody in there can settle people down and the other players get confidence and then they come out, they can be hard enough to work with. John has done his homework very well. So he has.
And do you think if we can pick one player who's going to be a game changer on Sunday?
But I don't pick one player is going to be a game changer, son, because Portland aren't going to need 15 men to be a game changer. You know, that's the one. They're going to need every man to train up to their scratch. And if somebody's hurt and somebody comes on, that's what they're going to be needing. You know, and that's the bottom line.
And Paddy, if you're looking after Cardigan, just wrap up in a few minutes, folks, but if you're looking after Cardigan, obviously heavy favourites getting in this weekend, going for 2 in a row now. All talk all year outside of Cardigan anyway has been about getting revenge in terms of what went on at Glen last year. You know, we're not getting the opportunity. I don't think anyone ever says Cardigan will win the game, but they certainly weren't given the opportunity to show what they're capable of. How do you get your players set up for Sunday whenever they are sort of so fancy?
I think there's been enough heartbreak over the years around Cardigan and finals, the number of finals that they've been beaten. But every time they get to the final, there's no problems getting them up for it. They will be, you know, they'll have that controlled aggression, so they will. And they will have, they have the experience on the field. But Portland won't have that experience too. So Portland won't have, they've been beat fair enough in the last 5 semi-finals, but they've been there. So that a lot of that team that won an under-21 championship a few years ago, there's a number of boys representing the county. So they'll get that experience, and a bit like Cardigan be able to blood players in this year. Portland won't have been able to do that. So if you look at the sideline last Sunday against Landurg, they had Brian Humbry, Johnny Humbry, Paddy Kelly, Michael Kelly, Shane Larry, boys like that all stand on the sideline. So they have developed that panel. So it's going to take, for Cardigan, it's going to take the 15, because it's going to take those 4 or 5 other players on Sunday as well. To get over the line. That will come down to, I think, a number of key battles. You know, Michael McCann, who marks Michael McCann, how to mask then the two danger men. The likes of Big Pat, like I was the league game a couple of years ago down in Tim, and Big Pat, there was a pile of space in front of him, and you know, he destroyed Portland on that day himself, really. So it will come down to those key battles. It will come down to that midfield battle, as Kevin says. Now the keeper's probably playing as good a football this year as anybody in the county, and that's testing John too. Because John was able to rest him right up to the last maybe 4 or 5 big games and give him that time to himself. So yeah, so it'll come down to those key battles. Also as well, I'll be interested to see what Portland will do with Jenny. You know, do they let him come out and be that playmaker, or do they push up and put a wee bit of pressure on him and see where that takes them to as well? So there's a few key battles in there, you know, it'll be interesting to see.
Marty, I'll throw you for a ball here. If you were John McKeever, it's a big party to be at Cardigan.
That's $1 million question. We knew that would definitely wouldn't be down.
Well, what would you, in order, I mean, they obviously still have a lot of emotion and, you know, a commitment there in terms of Cardigan, but if you're a spectator, what would you like to see Portland doing this week? Would you like to see them pressing up, or would you like to see them dropping off, trying to dead safe, or?
Well, as a neutral, I'd love to see just a really good final. I think in the last couple of years, Cardigan has won in the extra time from the quarter final. They had a bit of a smash and grab one year with that, High Gallon. The Creighton games speak for themselves. I'd love to see Portland go forward as a neutral. In terms of how you beat Cardigan, I don't know the answer to that there, to be honest with you. I think even
That's probably the
the years we were beat, I would While I wouldn't say it was tactical master classes, I would say it was predominantly complacency and injuries. I don't think Cardiff have that issue of injuries, and I don't see them having really much complacency. We lost our 3 in a row shots, John Brennan, and then we lost to Craig on Demons last year. So I still think that they've unfinished business in Ulster, so I think the hunger won't be a problem. In terms of the matchups and stuff that Paddy had touched on, if I was Cardigan, I would go completely aggressive on Portland's kickouts. Your big lad O'Kane, Ryan Caver, who has, to be honest with you, brilliant this year for Portland. Even last year against Denoy in the game they were beat, I thought Ryan Caver was a colossal for that Portland team. He was doing everything trying to get his team back in that game, won that game for them. So it was funny, I was speaking to him in Tully Glass earlier in the year, and he was nearly retired. He's given it 1 more year. I'm glad to see him get back in the Cream final. He's one man there and he deserves that. But I can see Cardigan physically and better than that. You know, if Cardigan press Portland's kick out right, and they have the likes of Stork, John Harn, Mick, Eamon Quinn could even come up in the last 20. They have lads all Pat Shivers. They have 4 or 5 lads over 6'5". How do you outfield that? I would say Portland's goalkeeper will have to be on the ball, getting short kickouts out, getting them around in possession, and that would be a good start to beating Cardigan. I think when it goes into the air, Cardigan improves and they put the squeeze on, they get primary possession that will happy, especially on kickouts. So Brisbane improved that whenever they had it before against Senegal. And even when we went back to the Goudor game, we were down 10 points at half time and we pushed right up on Goudor's kickouts and we got the last minute goal face. So I think Cardigan, they ruffle their feathers, has to do that. I would say if the elements were only a big thing, I would say Portland to utilise the elements early doors and not and take a lesson from St. Bridget's.
Yeah, whenever you look at that across the whole game at the minute, if you press the team and if you run the call it, but you're 2.7 times more likely to score if you press the team. And Donegal this year, they've obviously pressed up on, or Derry pressed up on Donegal, and they call it. No other team pressed up on Donegal throughout the World Championship, and Donegal scored 1 every 3 of their kickouts, whether it was short or long. But if it went long, if you force them to go long, you were more likely to score because they didn't get time to set up. So whenever you do press up on a team, the data is all there show that it does have an impact on it. Tony, I suppose from a Portland perspective, just before we go to the floor and see if anybody, what did Portland need to do here, Willie?
They're probably, to be honest, they're going to need a lot of things to run in their favour, Kevin. If you even look at that recent history between Cardigan and Portland, and Phelan, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Portland beat them, even in a league game in the last 10 years that I can remember. Is that right, Phelan? Yeah, it's sort of few and far between here. When, Phelan? 2009. So, you know, Portland are going to have to get over that sort of mental block first. You're playing the champions, the two in a row champions here. Cardigan Park, it's a tight enough ground. It'll suit Cardigan as well because they can play to their experience, they can play to their craft there as well. Champions always there's always when you have referees and things like that as well. There's always that slight tendency as well to like. I'm not saying it's a bias, but there's an unconscious bias. Like if referees sometimes you see it in soccer, you see it in lots of sports. The teams that are the favourites usually get the rub of the green and stuff too. So Portland have a lot of hurdles to cover in that regard. And to be honest, you look at the McCanns. So you've obviously Michael's been the most influential club footballer in Antrim in the last 15 years. Took over the mantle from Sean Kelly probably before that. But what Michael does, it's not just his skills and ability. He controls the rhythm, he can control the tempo of the game. So it's about like an American football quarterback. He knows when to maybe go or when to push for it. He lets people know that. So Michael's so important to us. But also Paul McCann. Paul McCann's like the unsung hero of the Cardigan, and he's behind his 2 brothers. But he's a fabulous footballer, and even the goal he scored, the run he made in the semi-final, he's a very dangerous counter-attacker. To sum it up, I think we'll probably need to score a couple of goals, 2 or 3 goals, and we'll have to keep the goals out for Cardigan. I think if it's a straight shootout points, I think they'll probably have just too much craft and experience for us. So we have to find something different. Maybe keep the players like Michael, like Pat, keep them relatively quiet, not letting exert their influence in the game, score 2, 3 goals and keep the goals out. That's our goal.
Well, I'm not going to ask you, go ahead, Kevin.
You know what we could do? We could go to change them doors, can't we?
I'll put it where it's very important. See if we can get them handles taken off or something. No, folks, just before we finish up, anybody got any questions you want to ask the Paul? Speak now if ever hold your peace. No, well, look, thank you very much. I want to thank the four men for getting the opportunity to come down this evening. I've certainly enjoyed the conversation. In fact, I'm going to try and build up the game. But again, good luck to both teams with yourselves. Safe travels up to Belfast. I know it's a long road for you. It'll be longer for you to come back. But hopefully, the good game, the weather's meant to be good. And I say, for me, the best two teams in the county are going to be. I'm delighted that the county board decided to redraw. But for me, the best two players in the county itself to be a cracking final. And best luck to you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's give it a